What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
All right, everybody. What is it, Sunday night? That means it must be the Sunday Night Radio Baloney Live. I am your host, Richie Baloney. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. Not happy holidays. No. We don't do that here. None of that nonsense here. It's Christmas. It's not holidays. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas. All right. Hope everybody had a great weekend. And looks who we got in. We got Rumbum in there. We got Nevada. We got Rosie. How you guys doing? All right. People showing up on time. This is crazy. What's happening? Nevada says, Merry Christmas, Richie. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody. All right. I guess this will be the last stream probably. Hey, Jesse, how you doing? Merry Christmas to you. This will be the last stream until Friday probably, unless there's like an emergency stream has to happen for Friday. Because as you know, that Tuesday is Christmas Eve, so no stream on Christmas Eve. I might jump in on Christmas, maybe for an hour. Who knows? Maybe even Boxing Day for an hour. I don't know. We'll have to see how much Christmas spirit I have. But probably, Friday. Hey, we got Much Joy in the chat. Good to see you over on YouTube. All right. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do tonight? I don't have that much energy. I got to be honest with you. So I don't have that much. I don't want to go too long. We're going to talk about some stuff. We'll do some Christmassy stuff. Like, I got some Christmas memes going on here. Alex Jones Christmas meme. That's fun. Let me update that. Yeah, we got Alex Jones Christmas stuff. That's fantastic. We got all kinds of stuff in here. It's got to be fun. We'll do that. Of course, we'll do some regular old news as well. We'll answer that age-old question. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? I say yes. What say you? All kinds of stuff in here. We're going to take a look at some news too. We'll kind of breeze through the news stuff. It won't take too long, I don't think. We're not going to spend like 3 hours on this. I think we'll try and keep it to like a 2-hour live stream tonight. So there is still stuff to talk about. What's going on in Canada? I mean, is Trudeau going to resign? What's the next move? What's his next move? As he desperately attempts to cling on to power like the evil, black-hearted Grinch that he is. Woke Grinch. The thing about the woke Grinch too is that if they did like a woke Grinch who stole Christmas, his heart wouldn't grow back again. It wouldn't go bigger. It wouldn't grow to a normal size or even bigger. It would just stay the same. It would just be the Grinch would be a communist and would just stay a communist all the way through. That would be it. We got number 1, UK Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you, Turtles. Izzy, Merry Christmas. All right. Everybody's showing up now. It's a Christmas miracle. All right. So we're going to talk about Canada. What's happening with Trudeau as he desperately clings to power. It's going to be a commie Christmas for Trudeau. We got a bit of stuff from Trump here from the Turning Point USA thing. Actually, I don't have anything about it, but Cenk showed up there. And, Cenk Uyghur, they had like an honored place for him. And I really have two minds about that. The young, Cenk Uyghur and the Young Turks. I mean, wasn't he just calling everybody like a Nazi? Everybody didn't like every Trump voter like a Nazi and fascist and everything, like literally right up until the moment when it was clear that Trump had won. Feels a bit grifty to me. Is there a Grifty Awards? He should get one. I mean, I like it when people change their minds, when they moderate their views. I mean, even if it's not sincere, it's still good for just the general zeitgeist. It gives permission to other people to say, well, maybe I don't have to be a fucking fanatic. All right. Of course, Toronto Jewish girl school hit with bullets in third gunfire attack this year. This is Canada. This is one of the many reasons why people are so sick of Trudeau and what he has done to our country. This sort of thing didn't used to happen in the past. Like girls' schools being shot at. Like, this is one of the like thousands of things that Canadians have learned to really not like about what Trudeau has done to this country. Let's see. I thought we'd take a look at 12 of the most unusual Christmas traditions around the world. They're not all that unusual. I guess they had to get people to click on this, but some of them are kind of interesting. I thought we'd take a look at that. It's a Christmas thing. It's a Christmas show. Let's see and then we've got just all this stuff. And I don't know. I thought maybe later on we would try and do, guys remind me because I'll probably forget. But I thought that we could at some point do a, where is it? Where did it get to? Oh, yeah. I thought we could see if Grok will do some joyous like Trump Santa things, maybe some like Biden Grinch things or Trudeau Grinch things or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's stupid. I don't know, but I thought that might be fun for everybody. All right. So let's go here. Actually, let's go here first. Let's go back here first. Let's take a look at the chat, the Christmas chat, shall we? And let me take a look at what kind of options they're giving me for, they're giving me one option for an ad for tonight so far. Not promising. Let's see. Turtle says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm doing a polar bear plunge. Yay. If I did a polar bear plunge, the second that I hit the water, I would die from a massive heart attack. I'm certain of that. Izzy says, Merry Christmas, you filthy rats. Filthy rats. Nice. Christmas, filthy rats. Let's see. We got greetings from Ontario from Much Joy. Merry Christmas, Ontario, and much joy. Let's see. Turtle says, Trumpet M-Fest was amazing. We got a UK Happy Christmas from Dubbenber. I don't know. I'm just going to say Dub. I'm just going to say Dub because it's Christmas. Let's see. Rosie says, remember, we are gifting each other and especially Richie with movie and song suggestions for the break. Well, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. I'd completely forgotten, though, so I'm glad you brought it back up again. Let's see. Let's see. Turtle says Anna didn't get respect from him from Cenk Uyghur. Is that what we're talking about? Spambot, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Spambot. All right. Rumbum says Anna snapping at the greasy buffalo during the Young Turk show was hilarious. She did get mad. I don't think I have it in here, but maybe we'll look for it if you guys want to see it later. That's Izzy says, yeah, but Styx's cats always win the grifties. Yeah, those cats are they're basically just a part of his show, right? Turtle says, NORAD Santa Tracker, super fun, but that's not till Christmas Eve. Coffee, there looks to be no coffee ads up tonight so far. Maybe they'll bring one up. I don't know. All right, so let's just get started. And we'll get into some Christmassy stuff later. Well, let's get the news out of the way first, huh? Let's get the news out of the way. What's going on? Okay, so here's just some kind of, let's just go through some random stuff about Canada, Canadian news, Trudeau, all of that, because it's such a mess. It's such a chaotic mess in Canada right now. You've just got this guy, this wannabe dictator, Trudeau, who is so disliked. The majority of the country wants an election right now. according to polling. Like 70% of Canadians want him out, just gone. At least that many. He's just clinging on. He's clinging on. His own party is revolting against him now. I think he genuinely feels like it's just fate. Fate has chosen him. Fate will find a way for him. It's not looking good. But Canadians are asking questions, like J Gen Xer, why the fuck is this trending? Why the fuck do these retards still support Trudeau? Why is my feed full of I stand with Trudeau 2025? Well, what's this? Carlton deserves better. This morning on my trending list, I stand with Trudeau 2025. 4,360 posts trending in Canada. Nobody said that there weren't still idiots. There weren't still people that were mesmerized by Justin Trudeau's hair and teeth. They're still there. We've been saying it. There's going to be like 20% of the population of Canada that will just support him no matter what, right? They are mesmerized by his hair. Maybe, grow in the salt and pepper goatee again. They're also quite mesmerized by that. There are people that will just, the true and on group that just worships Justin Trudeau, as if he's some, their cult leader, which really he is. There are people, there's 1 in 5 Canadians. 1 in 5 Canadians will vote for Trudeau. Maybe it won't be quite 1 in 5. Maybe it'll be, maybe it'll get 17%. Maybe the Liberal Party will get 17%, 18%. It'll be, I think at the lowest, probably about 18% of the vote. But there are people, there is, well, what do we call them again?
Small fringe minority.
And they're very passionate about it, about their fringe minority views. And they will, they'll post, I stand with Trudeau. No normal person will do this, but there's still those people, those people that still support Trudeau. Those people that have been wrong about everything. Every decision they've made has been the wrong decision since they've been able to make decisions. Those people, the people who have been literally wrong about everything their entire lives, will still vote for Trudeau. You're just going to have those people in a society. I feel pity for them. I feel sad for them. I think it's tragic. But what can you do? There's nothing you can do. So, yeah, you're still going to get, I stand with Trudeau. Trending in Canada, I stand with Trudeau. Yeah, there's going to be some people that just will never learn. Axie, Canadians love Prime Minister Trudeau. I stand with Trudeau. She will never learn. This is a person who is every time there's been a fork in the road, this person's entire life, I feel very strongly about this. She has taken the wrong path, has been wrong about everything. Every decision has been the wrong decision. Every single one. That's the only way you could end up being somebody who still supports Justin Trudeau after all this time. Anybody who has paid any attention, not even to politics, just to their life, has noticed, even if you're, a government worker, you're one of those 40% increase in government sector workers, bureaucracy essentially in Canada that owes their living to Justin Trudeau. Even they've noticed that, like, their paycheck doesn't go as far anymore. They can't buy a house. They're probably struggling with rent still. I think there's probably very few people who aren't employed by the government that still support Justin Trudeau. I'm going to make that guess. All right. What do we got going on here? From government execute is corrupt. Government XA is corrupt. So Justin Trudeau called an election during a so-called pandemic when nobody wanted one, just to secure another 4 years. Yes, he did that. He took advantage of the political expediency of that, and it worked for him. Now that the majority wants an election, Trudeau will prorogue Parliament and try to hold onto power as long as he can because he's an authoritarian tyrant. He really, really wants to be. He absolutely wants to be freezing people's bank accounts, the Emergencies Act for a peaceful protest, the endless censorship and legislation, and the legislation to control social media, control what's online, the Online Harms Act, Online Streaming Act, just this wanting to take control of everything, controlling the algorithms, the YouTube algorithms, the X algorithms, all of it. Yeah, he wants to be that. He said that he admires the Chinese basic dictatorship, as he called it. I'd say it's more of a totalitarian state, and that's obviously something that's going to, just judging from what he does and says, that's something that appeals to him a great deal. We can only go from what he's done and said, and everything that he's done and said suggests that he would like to rule Canada as a totalitarian tyrant. So now that the majority wants an election, Trudeau will prorogue Parliament and try holding on to power as long as he can. So to prorogue Parliament is to suspend Parliament. So, and he can't do it right up until October next year. He can do it for maybe a couple of months. But basically nothing can happen. There can't be a no confidence motion. That's the most important thing. No confidence motion. So he can't be actually kicked out as long as Parliament isn't sitting. As long as Parliament isn't meeting, he can't be kicked out, which seems to be the most important thing to him. Well, it doesn't seem to be. Obviously, grasping on desperately to power is the only thing that's important to him. So will he prorogue Parliament? Yes, I think that he will. To delay an election. I keep seeing people saying, keep saying, oh, well, I think he's going to step down. He's definitely going to step down, but he wants to give the party time for blah, blah, blah. No, he's not. He's delusional. He's 100% delusional. I mean, let's take a look here. Hold on one second. Where was he? Actually, I don't have it handy. But my point being, no, he's delusional. He's desperate. And he's desperate to hold on to power. So proroguing Parliament is the way I think that he will go. The one good thing about this, it's a very good thing indeed. If he prorogues Parliament, all of his legislation is scrapped. It's gone. It would all have to be started over again, and there just won't be time for that, and it's all gone. So the insane, dystopian, future crimes, a censorship bill C-63, gone. And that it's the conservatives ain't going to bring that in. They're not going to do anything like that. So all of his insane legislation gone. Everything dropped. So that's a very good thing for Canada. An extremely good thing. So, I mean, if he does it, at least I know I won't have to delete my channel because the insane censorship bill won't go through. So, I mean, that would be a good thing. I mean, he can still, just every second that he's in power is just worse and worse and worse for the country. But all right, at least get rid of the legislation. So what's going on here? This couple is suing Trudeau, Freeland, and others within the government for freezing their accounts February 18th, 2022. So let's hear this story. So this gives you an example of what happens when you elect a totalitarian wannabe because everybody was mesmerized by his hair and platitudes.
Hi, my name is Carrie, and I live in the small village of Scotland, Ontario, with my husband Rich and our golden retriever Kenzie. We are average Canadians who work hard and love our country. The past 4 years have been extremely difficult for me. I've lost friendships, I've seen families break up, and witnessed many people, many Canadians, suffering at the hands of our government's overreach. Our lives were turned upside down when my husband and I had to make the choice between a vaccine, an experimental vaccine, or our jobs. If that wasn't traumatic enough, on the evening of February 18th, 2022, I received a phone call from my husband who was at work. He said I needed to check our bank account. I immediately logged in, and all I saw were dashes. I remember the feeling like it was yesterday. It was like somebody kicked me in the stomach. I started to hyperventilate, couldn't catch my breath. Why was this happening to us? Where was my money? When was I going to get my...
And you just got to think, this is the government. This is the highest authority doing this. This is Chrystia Freeland holding a press conference and laughing about it. Right? There's nobody to appeal to. It's the government. That's the government. It would be a feeling of just utter and total powerlessness. Total. This is your government. That's a wake-up call. Canada is becoming a cautionary tale. Rand Paul was just talking about it. Canada as a cautionary tale, as an example of what happens when governments have too much power, when they have the ability to misuse, emergency measures, like in Canada. But anyway, let's continue.
My money back. Was I going to get my money back? How was I going to prove how much I had in my bank account? So many questions. My husband trying to calm me down, telling me, you got to take a breath, you got to breathe. But so many questions, like, how was I going to pay my mortgage? My mortgage payment was coming out. How was I going to pay my other bills? How was I going to get money to buy food? How was I going to put fuel in my vehicle? I spent many sleepless nights worrying, sick to my stomach. So many questions, no answers, and still to this day, no one has told us why this happened to us. I am a shy person, a quiet person.
I can tell you why. Trudeau wanted to look like a tough guy, and he wanted to intimidate anybody who would disagree with him. It was political. It was done for politics. There was no emergency. The government wasn't in danger of being overthrown. It's absurd. No, it was politics. Politics from a black-hearted monster, a sociopath called Justin Trudeau, and his little sociopath clown car of ministers around him, like the little evil Oompa Loompa Chrystia Freeland. Laughing about it at a press conference. She thought it was so funny. She was so pleased with herself. Maybe she was just thinking about how pleased Justin would be.
I like to stay in the background. So this lawsuit is so much out of my comfort zone. Asking for money is way out of my comfort zone. But this lawsuit is so very, very important. We need to hold them accountable. Nobody should feel the level of betrayal, the level of fear, the level of unknown, the level of anxiety that myself and many Canadians felt. We have to make sure this level of unlawful cruelty does not happen to any other Canadians. We are fighting for all Canadians. So we really need your support. Please give what you can. Please help us fight for accountability. Help us fight for justice. Help us fight for Canada. And remember, this happened to me. This could happen to you.
Yeah, it's really hard to really come to grips with just how far Canada has fallen and what a cautionary tale Canada has become. Just what can happen to your country when you just fall asleep, when everybody falls asleep and they just listen to platitudes and people want to be with the cool side, with the cool kids, and nobody's really paying any attention to what's actually happening. And the media makes everything sound like it's really nice. And you don't want to be a bad person. You don't want to be one of those bad people, right? Those people who disagree with our lovely, Vogue magazine cover prime minister. with our fashion star prime minister, with his funny socks and everything. You don't want to be with one of those mean people. Those people are bigots and fascists and stuff. Don't you know that? That's what happens when people don't pay attention. People fall asleep. People are used to having, reasonably, just at least reasonably competent leadership for a couple of decades, whether it's, the left or the right in power, right? Reasonable leadership from people who don't hate you, at least, maybe not great, but not actually actively trying to sabotage you, right? People fall asleep, they have an optimism bias, and before you know it, you've got Justin Trudeau. You've got former part-time drama teacher, snowboard instructor for 9 years, winning 3 elections. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Well, Spamball Fodder says True China always gets an applause in the chat. True China is using both 1984 and Mein Kampf as a blueprint for running his government. Well, you say Mein Kampf. I'm not saying, and I always say this, but I'm not saying that Justin Trudeau is worse than Hitler. I'm just saying that Justin Trudeau is at least as bad as Hitler. Izzy says, yeah, that was bullshit. Sadly, I don't see any government giving up such powers. Well, here's the problem, is that even afterwards, a court decided that the Emergencies Act was not used constitutionally. And so you think, well, where do we go from there? Maybe the prime minister should step down. No, nothing. Nothing happens. There have been no consequences for Trudeau whatsoever. Like there hasn't been for foreign interference, anything. Just the national debt. Mass immigration, no consequences for any of it. For any of his scandals. Right? Like there's some really dirty stuff, like incredibly bad stuff going on with the foreign interference. Just nothing. Nothing. S&C Levelin, nothing. Just nothing. There's been no consequences for him. Maybe that's why he's not resigning. He's not stepping down. He just thinks I can just skate through everything and somehow it will all work out. Let's see. Izzy, those are some nice emoji things in the chat. I like those. Is that Mariah Carey? That's hilarious. Let's see. Turtle says prayers for the German Christmas market victims. Yes. Yeah. The media there is trying to, they're saying that it was a Saudi Arabian immigrant who shouted Allahu Akbar, but was actually like a Christian or something, or he was a anti-immigrant or something, or anti-Muslim atheist or something. I don't know. Let's see. Let me ask you this question. If you're on a bus or a train or a plane and all of a sudden somebody stands up and shouts Allahu Akbar, do you think that's a good sign or a bad sign? Does that tell you something about the person doing that? I think the whole Allahu Akbar thing just kind of gives the game away. But they're so desperate to just keep that endless tsunami of immigration from the Middle East going. It's just suicidal empathy, or maybe it's something else, but it's not sane. All right. Hold on, let's see. Rosie says Freeland's laughter is shocking, infuriating, and horrifying. That's true. Jesse says that's what they want, for you to feel powerless. Yeah, I mean, here's this person. There's nowhere to go. Like you can appeal to the bank. Well, it's the government that told the bank to do it, and the bank just happily agreed. Like there's nowhere higher to go. The prime minister wants your bank account frozen. that's what it feels like to be in an authoritarian, totalitarian state. At that point, you're getting it. You're getting a big taste of it. Let's see. Izzy says that was criminal. It could have put people in serious health risk over bullshit. I'm sure it did. Says should be a class action. I wonder if that's somebody must be putting something like that together. All right, I'm going to skip to the end here. Let's see. What do we got going? Spambot Fodder, who is a member of the channel now, by the way, which by the way, make sure if you do become a member of the channel, you do get this. That's not subscriber, that's member of the channel. Let's see, I've read both. True China is following all the evil in 1984 and is only missing 2 evils from Mein Kampf. Yeah, I don't know. He just has read like maybe there's just a book that's just called How to Be Evil. That's just a Trudeau read. How to Be Hated by Everyone. Let's see. Spambot says the singer that gives me more PTSD. That's good actually. PTSD than Mariah Carey is Celine Dion. It's equal amounts for me. Let's see. Izzy says no consequence for criminal behavior of our politicians. Nope, it's really, really sad. All right. Let's continue here. Well, how about from Jordan Peterson here? He's talking about Stephen Guilbeault, the criminal, the eco-criminal, literal eco-criminal, arrested. The literal he was arrested in his activism days for trying to climb the CN Tower, I think it was. He's been a climate lunatic for decades. Trudeau's energy minister, Guilbeault, is a delusional nature-worshipping activist. He's at war with Alberta that has the 3rd largest global oil reserve. Canada could be insanely wealthy. Instead, I guess Canada's just insane. Hopefully not for much longer. Let's continue.
We're slated to have the worst performing economy in the developing world for the next 30 years. He's scuttling the energy industry. He refused to deliver natural gas to the Germans and to the Japanese when they came cap in hand asking, and turned all that money over to the Middle Eastern tyrants and the Russians. His energy minister, Stephen Guilbeault, is a delusional, nature-worshipping activist and has been since he was 5 years old. He's at war with Alberta, which has like the 3rd largest oil reserves in the world. Saskatchewan has the largest uranium reserves. Canada could be insanely wealthy if we weren't childish beyond belief.
So is public opinion turning on Trudeau?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's in all likelihood, he'll be scuttled. His party will be scuttled in the next election, October. But he'll hang on till October 25th because he's made a devil's deal with Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the socialists, a man too stupid to even negotiate for a cabinet position despite having formed essentially a coalition, which is also unheard of in the Canadian political tradition. There's never been a coalition like this. And anybody with any sense who forms a coalition as a minority party leader gets a seat at the table. But Singh, he's a Rolex wearing, what would you say, tailored suit socialist.
Yeah, so this would have been before the latest chaotic clown show with Freeland resigning, and now there's I think 40 or 50 liberals that are saying that they want him out. Liberal MPs that are saying that they want him out. But yeah, it's all true. It persists. It continues. Jagmeet Singh has now said he will vote no confidence. which means that I think it's 70% of Parliament that wants him out. I would not take anything that Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the NDP, says too seriously, because he will probably go back on that. He will get his pension now, because the election won't be before, unless the Governor General does something totally unexpected and recalls Parliament, which doesn't look very likely. But Jagmeet now, by delaying this slate before saying he will no longer prop up the Trudeau government, will get his pension on, I believe it's February 25th. But even still, will he betray Canada again? Why not? Why not? He's done it so many times. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Spamball Fodder saying, I guess in reference to 1984 and Mein Kampf and Trudeau, I think he read those in college and said to himself, I think I could make these work. I guess he would have said, I think I can make these work for Canada. Turtle says, drill, baby, drill. Let's fucking go. As he says, Peterson has a way with words. Jesse says, True China got read Castro and Chase stories since he was born. He did. His dad was a big fan of Castro. And, well, I don't know, who is Trudeau's dad? Is it Castro? He looks like him. Let's see. Potus George Kirby is in the chat. He's saying, hallelujah, today is a great day to rejoice in the Lord. And then he adds, that's how I say hello now. All right. Nevada says everything woke turns to shit. I think somebody else said that.
Everything woke turns to shit.
All right. So let's continue. Actually, do I have something else here on Guibo? Ugh.
We're slated to have the worst.
So this is Trudeau. So he is met with his own party, but he's hiding from the public. There's been no address to the public amongst all of these calls for him to resign. Every political pundit at this point, even the lefties apparently, are saying, yeah, he's done. He's over. This is all over. There's like a big thing coming up with the tariff thing with Trump. Like, okay, we got it. Something's got to happen here. Canada's not happy. But according to Trudeau, look, well, let's listen. Let's listen to Trudeau here and see what he has to say.
Here's what the Prime Minister had to say.
Are you considering proroguing?
We just had an excellent cabinet meeting that is almost entirely focused on the Canada-U.S. dynamic. We know how important it is for Canadians that we be there to protect not just the Canadian economy, but their jobs. The cost of living challenges they're facing that could get worse.
Here's what the Prime Minister had.
So that's what he's doing. I mean, look, if this guy cared about Canada at all, he would absolutely address Canadians and at least try and justify why he's not resigning, or why we can't have an election to get rid of him. At least, I mean, everybody would still hate him. But just as a matter of personal pride and like personal respect, like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Well, I really, okay, sorry. Because he's awful. Because he's a terrible person with no ethics or morals or soul. That's why. But I think he's probably going to prorogue Parliament just to keep himself in power for a little bit longer. Desperate. All right, let's continue here. Anything else we've got here? So let's go back here for a second. So Toronto Jewish girls' school hit with bullets in third gunfire attack this year. This is what Canada is now. We used to not have these problems for some reason. A Toronto elementary school for Jewish girls in North York was struck by gunfire overnight, which marks the third shooting incident at this school for girls this year. So, again, what has changed exactly in Canada? We used to not have this. We used to not have people shooting at girls' schools, at Jewish girls' schools. It's just never really been a Canadian thing, right? Just never really been a part of Canada's culture. Oh, I forgot though. Trudeau said that Canada didn't have a culture. We're going to have some sort of pan culture, which I guess is multiculturalism, which means that people just come to Canada and just bring bring their home country here and just do that. I forgot. So it wasn't Canadian culture to repeatedly shoot at Jewish girls' schools before, but now with Trudeau, with our post-national country and with no core identity, right now it is, I guess. Now it's part of our pan-cultural identity or something. I don't know. All I know is that this is what Trudeau has done. Let's hear Ezra Levant from Rebel News talk about it.
Ezra Levant here. It's just after 9 a.m. in North Toronto at a Jewish school called Beis Chayamushka. You can see plywood, where at around 3:30 this morning, shots were fired into this Jewish girls' school. This is the third time this school has been shot at. The third time Toronto's anti-Semitic crime wave has wound up with shooting. You can see the police are on the scene. They have brought the forensic unit, and behind me over here, they have canine unit. The police officers from the forensic team just told me that they think the school may have been shot at from various locations. That's why the entire street has been blocked off all that way. And you can see behind me there, way back there. So an entire area of the city has been locked down while they try to find some sort of evidence. Not sure how lucky they'll be. It's been 6 hours since the shooting. There's snow on the ground. What's incredible to me is that this is now normal. This is life in Canada now. 3 times this school has been hit. Just the other day in Montreal, the Beth Tikva synagogue was attacked for the second or third time. I've been to synagogues in Toronto that have been attacked 5, 6 times, and that's just the ones we know about. I should tell you that when I came to an earlier attack on this school, the police had a press conference and they said that they didn't know if it was an anti-Semitic incident. In fact, they've refused to use the word Jewish or anti-Semitic during the entire press conference. And bizarrely, in that incident, they asked people not to share the closed circuit TV of the suspect. They literally told people not to help. And it's not going to stop. Why would it stop? Justin Trudeau is bringing in, quote, refugees from Gaza. We're one of only 2 countries in the world stupid enough to do so. Not a single Arab or Muslim country has taken in Gazan refugees because, of course, that country has been marinated in terrorism for 20 years. They've been taught terrorism. Who would bring people like that into their neighborhoods? Well, Justin Trudeau would. He's doing it because those are his last remaining diehard supporters. And I think that's part of the problem here is we brought in hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of people who despise our Western culture. Jews, of course, but Christians too, our Western way of life. And are we surprised that if we bring in millions of migrants without vetting them for cultural fit, are we surprised when they bring their age-old anti-Semitism with them? Are we surprised when they bring their violence with them? We don't even have in-person.
You know, it might be a question to ask. You know, when you're planning, immigration policy, let's see, is there anybody that we're going to bring in that's likely to start terrorizing people that are already here? Let's see, is there anybody who follows a certain ideology or religion/ideology who might come to Canada and then start hunting and terrorizing, girls' schools, for instance? Maybe we'll skip them. Maybe we don't need those ones. Canada didn't used to have giant Hamas protests, Hamas parades, basically, constantly. Canada didn't used to have that. I mean, I guess, that's what, Justin Trudeau was so disappointed with about Canada. That was one of the things that disappointed him so much. We didn't have that. So he had to bring it to us so that we'd finally have a core identity or something, I guess. I mean, we are a post-national country after all, so I guess just whatever. I don't know. I don't like this. I don't want this. This shit didn't used to happen. Again, we didn't used to have like pro-terrorist marches constantly in Canada. A friend of mine was driving past one of these things, and he heard somebody, this was at the same place where they were burning the Canadian flag, by the way, and shouting death to Canada, death to the United States, death to Israel. And he was driving by, and he heard part of this protest speech talking about how they're going to kill all of the Zionists and the Christian Zionists. And I'm thinking, I can't help but think that maybe Canada was better before all of this. Like, that's not normal. That's not normal in Canada. Maybe it's normal in other parts of the world. That's fine. They can do that over there. Canada, not normal. Don't like it. Makes me rather uncomfortable, frankly. Nevada says True China helped in promoting church burning. Yes, he did. I think it's about 120 churches now burned down. And like every terrible idea and terrible thing in Canada that's happened over the last 10 years that's new to Canada, it's Trudeau's responsibility. Trudeau did it. Trudeau encouraged it. And has done nothing to stop it. Doesn't really like to talk about it. Can you imagine if there were 100, mosques burnt down in Canada? I mean, you'd definitely get the Emergencies Act for that one, right? Churches doesn't care. I guess because of no core identity or something, or not the right core identity, or not the right identity, just period. Let's see. Kirby, yeah, there's no black Hebrew Israelites in Canada that I've ever heard of. Jesse says the population of people who hate Jews and Christians has exploded under True China, and probably been a trend for a while. Yes, it has. And they're not hiding it. They say it openly. It's amazing. All right, let's get to the end of these. Hold on a second. Rosie says, I still think many of these events are false flags to distract or blame a group to cause retribution. I think it's pretty clear in Canada what's happening. We've got these pro-Hamas terrorist marches that have been going on for the last year constantly. They go to Jewish neighborhoods to intimidate them. They go to Jewish bakeries, right? Like, they keep saying Zionists. They don't seem to make much distinction between just Jewish people and Zionists. And they're regularly calling for the death of them. So that, they're not hiding it. Then you start to see firebombings and shootings. I don't know. I think maybe Occam's razor on this one. The simplest solution is most likely the right one. Rosie says, what is wrong with people shooting into a school? They are deranged. Deranged by their ideology, by their religion. Rosie says, Trujana, did he say protect? He seems to not protect. No, he's made Canada much more dangerous. He protects the criminals in Canada. Trudeau does. All right. Kirby says, well, it's cold. You have to burn Canadian flags to stay warm in Canada. I'm sure that's all it is. I'm sure that's good enough for Trudeau. True China. True China. Let's see. Kirby says, France, Germany, Canada, Sweden, England, Italy, but I haven't found a pattern yet. The only people who haven't found a pattern yet are in the media and in left-wing political parties. Let's see. KL7788 says JT's legacy. Don't forget it. That's a part of Trudeau's legacy for sure. The church burnings, and it's totally in action. Also, the pushing of the unmarked graves, which it's become a hoax. It was actually a media hoax. It actually wasn't even the First Nations groups. It was the media. The media took it and ran with it. They wanted it. The media in Canada has what I call atrocity envy, because it doesn't have the Trail of Tears, doesn't have the mass slavery in the South in Canada. Pretty boring on the atrocity front, really. So they've got what I've termed trademark, what I've coined. Ever hear anybody else say it? I came up with it. Atrocity envy in the Canadian media and amongst Canadian academia and Canadian leftist politicians. So they want things they want to condemn Canada as this horrible genocide state where there's 15 different genocides going on every second of the day, past, present, and future. They want that. They're leftists, right? This is what fuels them. This is what feeds them. This is where they get whatever joy in their life that they have, is by condemning their own country and their ancestors. And of course, Trudeau is exactly the same. He saw that it was politically expedient for him, he thought, to push this hoax. Never any evidence of these unmarked graves. Never any evidence. It was a ground penetrating radar where they have looked. Nothing. Rocks. That's a big part of Trudeau's legacy. Mass immigration, mass debt, which is a generational problem. They're all generational problems. The poisoning of Canadian culture, sex changes for children. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. I mean, aside from just the outright corruption, Chinese interference, it goes on and on and on and on. His legacy is huge and grotesque. Let's see. All right, what else do we got going on here? Hold on a second. What is this? Hold on. Izzy sent a link. I'm just going to pull this up. Hold on, you guys. Wait 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. This is November 5th, 2024 from the National Post. 592 places of worship burned in 12 years. Liberals don't give a damn. Yeah, and I believe it's been about 120, 130 since the unmarked graves hoax. Yeah, there's a big part of Trudeau's grotesque legacy right there. Holy turtles. Holy macaroni. We got $5 from Turtles. Turtles is officially the best person ever for this particular stream right now. Thank you so much for your generosity, your Christmas generosity for my Christmas greed. It is well appreciated. Thank you. And of course, we're going to pin that. Peace on earth. That's nice. That's a nice sentiment. It's definitely worth $5. Let's see. All right, so let's move on. Kirby says, True China pushed the Kamloops school hoax to promote hate for Christians. Yeah, he does not like Christians. He's promoted a lot of hate towards Christians. A lot. Let's see. Spambot Fodder says the urinalists at CBC and other legacy media companies that say there are still undiscovered mass graves need to provide ground-penetrating radar grid searches for every church and school. Well, what needs to happen is that there have been a couple of actual investigations where they've actually they've broken the ground to look, and there's nothing, there's rocks, and nothing else will happen. There at Kamloops, there was, I think, a $12 million thrown at it to do like an archaeological investigation, and the money just disappeared and nothing happened. It won't, because it's leverage, right? Everybody knows there's nothing there, but as long as it's not definitive, then you can still have liberal NDP, you can have the media still having it out there vague, it's just this thing floating there, this kind of nebulous thing floating around that's evidence of all of Canada's crimes, even though it's not real, but maybe it is. So therefore, Canada's evil. That's how they operate. Kirby says, we need the Trump win stinger for Turtles. Absolutely, Turtles. You earned it. 1 second. On the election night stream, that was played every time that a state was declared for Trump, but it was the sweetest when Pennsylvania was called. That was the sweetest. Let's see. Izzy says, Spambot, yeah, defund the CBC. Yeah, it sounds like Pierre is very serious about defunding the CBC. He's not hesitating on that when he's asked. Let's see. Jesse says, poutine is coronary genocide and my favorite way to diet. Poutine is fantastic. Like a really good poutine is fantastically good. Izzy says, hope PP does an investigation. It needs to be cleared up. But it will be fought. Like any actual dig to find evidence will be fought now because, again, everybody knows there's nothing there. And then the leverage disappears. So, the advocacy groups will fight it hard. Izzy says, I love Trump on a dyno. You do? Well, it's funny you should say that. I'm constantly amazed by how many people still don't know that Trump has a pet dino that he rides on when he's shooting his lasers, and that his best friend is a huge eagle. I'm always amazed by how many people still don't know that. I blame the mainstream media. Let's see. As he says, CBC let themselves become a puppet organization of the liberals. What happened was that people kept graduating from universities. They'd been indoctrinated into far leftist ideas. And slowly but surely, they took over. They exerted pressure. The people who were supposed to be responsible adults at the top were cowed. Like, this was what happens in every institution. And eventually it just becomes a tool of wokeism, a tool of what they call progressivism, far leftism, Marxism. And now, they're a willing puppet, right? They see their interests overlapping, obviously. For one thing, Trudeau and any leftist government whether I mean it will never be NDP at this point, I don't think. But any liberal government is going to treat the CBC very well. They know which side their bread is buttered on, you know. We got Cobra in the chat. Cobra saying, "Oh yeah." Let's see. And Cobra, I should say, is also an honored member, not just subscriber, but member of the channel, which means that I can see Cobra's chat. It comes up. There's a special thing with Cobra, Rosie, and Spambot fodder as well. Although I love everybody, I just love some people more. That's all, you know. Rosie says, I like the music to Trump on a Dino. I know. That's why I picked it, because I knew you guys would love it. Cobra says, hello, my fellow Balonians. Good to see you in here. Well, we're an hour in already. All right. You know what that means? Means we're going to have to cut short the YouTube part of this. So we always start with both Rumble and YouTube. An hour in, it's time to get rid of the YouTube part of the stream. I feel sad about it, because if you don't come over to Rumble, you're going to miss out on all the cool memes we're going to look at and stuff. Like, look at all this stuff. Alex Jones Christmas stuff. That's awesome. Look at all this stuff. You're going to miss it if you don't come over to Rumble. Look at this. We got a Star Trek Christmas stuff. It's hilarious and awesome. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? Don't you want to find out? But unfortunately, we have to cut off the YouTube part. So join us over on Rumble. Because there's censorship problems with YouTube, and it just becomes a pain, really, if I keep going, if I do the whole stream there. Safer just to do the first hour. And then we really let loose on Rumble. We can really be ourselves there, you know. So in any case, if you're watching on YouTube, either join us on Rumble, or I'll see you Friday. Maybe before, but probably Friday. Anyway, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. There we go. That's a nice Christmas.